You talk about courage and fearlessness, 4 arrows, so that, yeah.
So the simplest way I can frame it is a story I tell about. We have a place in British Columbia on the river where everybody that goes there, I offer, come on up and climb and jump into the waterfall, and it's about 30 feet up. But most of us, that we get up there and we think about jumping into this waterfall, which we've checked out for floating logs already and everything, is a scary thing. And our people are afraid of heights. It's scary. But if you get someone say, look, I'm going to do it a couple of times. You can see it's fine. My grandson's 9 years old. He's going to do it. You're going to love it. Now they get up there. And that means they got courage. They've developed courage, which we all think is great. And now with that courage, they climb up the rocks. They stand over the waterfall and the deep pool that it's splashing into. They got courage. And if they just have courage and don't move into fearlessness, they jump and they go, on the way down. And on the way down, they're still having to have courage. As they hit the water, they realize they're okay. They swim to shore and they go, holy cow. Now, I say, I want you to do this again, but this time, I want you to move from courage to fearlessness. Well, what does that mean? Well, to be brief, we're talking about, I want you just to trust the universe. You made the decision to jump. There's nothing you can do after you jump except keep the fear and the courage dynamic operating, or trust the universe. And so now they go up. And if they are able to do this, and many are, they'll have that courage and that anxiety, and they'll get up and they're still going, even me. And then once their feet leave the ledge, they trust the universe. Now, a very different thing happens. They see an eagle flying overhead. They feel the velocity and the feeling of the air coming up at them. They might see a salmon going underneath, past them just before they hit. They feel the plunge of the water from the toes to the top of the head in a dynamic way. It's beautiful. And this essentially is what I've learned from the Kumkak and the Wawamuri and the Kogi and pockets of Lakota sun dancers. This is how I've learned how they live. Their humor is alive. Their sense of beauty is alive, no matter how traumatic the situation.
Because they trust the universe, right? The universe takes care of us. And to get into that mode of being, I think, is the real enlightenment.
Yeah, there's this story reminds me of, if you pardon me, a brief anecdote of the first and only time I went bungee jumping, which was 50 meters, which is not very far horizontally, but vertically is quite a distance. And there was a lot of courage to get there, to get strapped up, to like get raised on the platform and be up there. And when you bungee jump, at least as a beginner first timer, it was like, you don't jump, you just fall forward and you stand on the ledge and you just fall forward. And I stood on the ledge and the courage got me to the ledge. And there was just like felt like a million reasons why this was a bad idea, all happening at once until it just bottlenecked. And then there was just emptiness and peacefulness and just like a trust. And I just fell forward and just loved my entire descent. And then the bouncing and all the rest. And
so you did it.
Yeah.
You did it.
And I often, like, especially in times in my life where there's been a number of moments in my life where it's this sort of like, I jumped, in the face of like fear, and I just like trusted and I jumped literally into water or bungee jumping, skydiving even. And like, recognizing that as sort of an example of being like my capacity to trust, to step forward into something that
I would
imagine,
terrifying. James, I would imagine that if you looked at all 40 of the precepts, you would find a whole number of the Indigenous worldview precepts that you really embrace, and that would be my my guess that because remember, everybody who's indigenous to Earth. These are not belonging to a tribe in Africa or the United States. These belong to all of us. And some people have more than others. And my guess is that you would find that not only that peacefulness that came to you when you jumped allowed you to move from courage to fearlessness, from fear to courage to fearlessness. But I would guess that we could go down this list and there would be other ones that you tend to move towards in your life.
Well, thank you for saying so. It feels like an honorable mention or something. I feel there's a very positive sort of sense of being seen and held in positive regard by you there, Flores. Thank you.